Hey guys, Chance and Jordan here at the Melevates of Belmont. Today we figured, since I've been using my Novo a lot recently, he's been using his Nord, as you've seen in the last video. We figured we talk about the differences and what we like about each one, and so maybe you guys can kind of watch the video and figure out if you want his, you want mine, kind of so on and so forth. I'll let Jordan kick it off here with the Nord.
So I picked up a Nord yesterday and actually really like it. It hits really well. It's a lot different than a Me Pod. The Me Pod's got more of a restricted airflow than the Nord does. The Nord has a lot more open airflow, and it also makes a bigger cloud. But the Nord, honestly, is giving off way better flavor than the Me Pod. As far as the coils lasting longer than the Me pods, I haven't really figured that out yet. If one's better than the other, I've only been using it for right at 2 days. But if this ends up lasting longer than the pods in the Me Pod, which I think it will, because it's an actual coil, like an actual built coil, then I'll let you guys know. As far as like a weight to size ratio difference of this one in the Me Pod, obviously this one's a little bit taller, and then it has a little bit more weight to it. As far as with the Novo as well, it's a little bit taller than the Novo, and the biggest difference between the two is the button. The Nord's got a button, the Novo doesn't. Mm-hmm. I know he uses the Novo, so he's gonna be able to have the more experience of how the Novo hits. So would you like to?
So the thing I like about the Novo, just to start off with, I like having some of my pod devices have buttons. That's why I have like multiple pod devices. Like I do have the Nord as well. But I'm really using the Novo a lot recently because the lack of fire button. I like to just be able to just go on with my day and not have to worry about a button. Also, it kind of sounds stupid, but I like to be able to just like have mine in my mouth while driving and just be able to vape it like that instead of having to worry about pressing the button all the time. It does have a pretty good battery life. Usually lasts me about a day, sometimes even 2 days if not hitting on it like 24/7. But I do like the Nord because you do have that button that you can cut it on and off, and obviously the battery is bigger with it as well. So you can actually just 5-click it and cut it off, which conserves battery. But when I use my Nord, I always forget to cut it off. So that's kind of why I like this, because you don't have to worry about forgetting or remembering to cut it on and off. It's just on all the time. And the pods last me a while. I actually had this one in my book bag for about a week. I hadn't used this in a week. I pulled it out and the pod's still good on it. Obviously I haven't been vaping on it in that week, but just having juice sitting in it, I cleaned, dumped out the juice, put a new juice in there, and it's still working like a charm. Get a little bit of that old flavor, obviously, like you're gonna have, but other than that, the pods last pretty good. Usually about a week and a half. Sometimes they last me even 2 weeks for me personally with it. I know he said he hasn't really had too much with the Nord coils yet, but whenever I had the Nord, they would last me about the same. And they are coming out with mesh pods for these now. Like they're out right now. We have some, so you can swap up to a mesh pod for the Novo now, kind of like you had the ceramic and the mesh for the Nords.
And they also got ceramic coils or ceramic pods for the Novo. They got regulars, we got mesh, and then we've got the ceramics. Just like with the Nord, we get the ceramics and the mesh. I prefer the mesh. To me, the mesh gives off the best flavor, and from what I've heard from different people that's bought them, the mesh always lasts the longest, so I opted to just use the mesh. Now, when the mesh does go out, obviously, I'll give the ceramic a try, see how I like it, but I think I'm really going to benefit from the mesh more just because of that enhanced flavor and that it ends up lasting longer. As far as anything else goes with the Nord, I do like that it has a bigger battery, like he said, than what I'm used to. I charged this thing for the first time, like actual fully charged it yesterday. The day that I got it, it lasted me pretty much, all night, all day, well, half the day. And then I put it on charge yesterday and took it off like an hour and a half later, and it still hasn't showed red yet, so I know it's got really good battery life.
That does bring it to a point with the Nord. You can also triple click the fire button and it'll show you battery life. Green being fully charged, yellow being half charged, red being like it's almost about to die, and so on and so forth. They're both good. I'd recommend this one for ease. I'd recommend that one for flavor and just battery life. But that's all for today, guys. Come by, check them out, and we'll see you in the next video.
Peace.
Bye.